In 2008, I was on CNN with Wolf Blitzer, and I was saying Lehman Brothers was coming down, and it came down. And this past Monday, I don't know the date, but I was on Neil Cavuto's show, and I said Credit Suisse was coming down, and Credit Suisse came down. And people think there's a nice, happy little bank, Credit Suisse, one of the biggest criminal money laundering banks in the world. They should have come down, but they just let them go. And then now BlackRock is going down, and so the real estate market is going to go down.
This is trash. And all they're going to do is print more of this, which makes it worse. That's the problem. So we're going to print more. So I'm very concerned. The 60-40 thing about 40% stocks, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. The problem is the bond market. That's my concern. I don't like to invest in anything they can print. And they can print this here. And so I stay away from anything like that. So this here is a Kennedy $50, 1964. It's worth $10 today because it was pure silver back then. And also in 64, this went from a silver certificate to a Federal Reserve note. And most people don't know what that means. It means they're going to print as much as they like to pay your bills. That'd be like you paying your bills just by writing bad checks. We'd go to jail for doing what the Fed and the Treasury are doing. The biggest bank that's going to go down is the Bank of Japan, because the Bank of Japan, carrying the interest rates at 0 or whatever they did, financed the derivatives markets. And the derivatives market, as what Warren Buffett said about derivatives, they're weapons of mass financial destruction. And the derivatives market in the world today, financed by the Bank of Japan, is a quadrillion. The Bank of Japan has been financed in derivatives. Derivatives are a quadrillion. That's 1,000 trillion. Quadrillions, 1,000 trillion. So we haven't seen the crash coming yet. Since 2008, interest rates have been dropping, and all of a sudden the interest rates are going up. Powell has raised interest rates faster than any time in history. So somebody says, well, he's playing Volcker. Well, Volcker raised interest rates over years. Powell's doing it over months. So he's crushing it right now. And so I'm just saying, this idea of don't fight the Fed and all that, I think that's old advice. I would stay with gold and silver. This little 64 Kennedy $50 is worth $10 today because it's real silver. And that's what I've been saying for years. You've allowed me to say it. I've been Chicken Little or Paul Revere for all these years, but I'd still rather have gold than this stuff. Well, the problem with Americans is, we live in a fishbowl. We can't see out. Everybody can see in. And right now, the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, they're going to shift to the Chinese gold yuan. And that's going to send trillions of these things back to us. Triffin's dilemma was we had to put all of this money out there with the petrodollar so they could buy oil and something like this. But China's coming after us, man. China's coming after us. Jim Rickard said it best. He calls it a currency war. A currency war.
But anyway, if you can't sell, you're always afraid of losing your job. Isn't you that's true, Blair?
Yeah, always. Because sales equals income. If you can't sell, whether you're an employee, even an employee, if you can't sell yourself, you can't get a raise. If you can't sell yourself to even get a job, why would somebody want to hire you?
Well, how about if your monthly nut is $1,000 and all you are is a 50% performer? You bring in $500, your family is screwed.
That's right. So everything is about sales.
But anyway, like for me, I was coming out of the Marine Corps in '74, and I said to my rich dad I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And because my poor dad wanted me to get my PhD, of course, fly for the airlines to get a PhD. I'm going, oh my God, my old man was broke. Poor dad was broke because he ran for lieutenant governor of the state of Hawaii, and dirtiest business there is politics. And the governor said to my dad, poor dad, he says, you'll never work in the state again. And my poor dad went poor. I mean, up until that time, he was okay. But once he could not work, then he couldn't sell. And so I come out of the Marine Corps, and he's telling me, oh, go fly for the airlines. United Airlines is hiring. And go back to school and get your PhD like me. And I said, that's what my saying is, PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. Jesus, I mean, he couldn't sell. So I go to a rich dad, and I go, what should I do? I'll be an entrepreneur. He says, gotta sell. I'm going, oh my God, that's the worst thing possible. This is 1974. And because my old man, poor dad, kept saying, he says, salesmen are the scum, and you're in a business who can't sell. You better understand what we're saying on this one, because sales equals
income.
What is the definition of selling?
When somebody else's money is in your pocket. Okay. If you don't have that, you haven't done a sale. You've done a pitch, you've done a nice presentation, and all this stuff, but show me the money in my pocket.
That's right. It's conversion. It's when that money transfers over to you. When somebody said, yes, I agree, but a lot of people agree, but they don't pay.
Right.
And so the whole idea is part of the selling cycle is not just closing a deal. It's when the money clears your bank. That's when the sale is done.
But it's not that, he high pressured him, he lied, he cheated and all that. Look, we're living in the age of deception and betrayal. I cannot believe how bad the U.S. Treasury, the Fed, Wall Street, the banks are lying to us. The Biden crime family, and millions are losing their jobs as we speak right now. And then so what they're going to do is give them, welfare or whatever they give them. This is really a dangerous, dangerous time in world history. So your number one skill as an entrepreneur is the ability
to sell.
Yeah.
So even as we head into dangerous times for entrepreneurs or business owners who are currently owning businesses, that ability to sell to raise capital or to survive the next wave is just as important as selling yourself.
It's critical. Now more than ever. With unemployment going up, with jobs being lost.
But more than that, when the customers are disappearing because they don't have money. Mm-hmm. So that was a fantastic question you asked. So I'm in business, I'm an entrepreneur. What's going to happen in 3 weeks or 4 weeks today? Your customer's gone. What are you going to do? They're broke.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
Or they panic and they go into hibernation.
That's right. I remember you said when the pandemic hit, you brought me over to your house and we sat down. It was like the day after the lockdown. And you sat me down and you looked at me and go, okay, Blair, so is your customer today the same customer that you had last week?
Yeah.
And my brain went, no, it's not.
No.
It's not anymore. And so part of sales is not just about being able to pitch. Part of it is to find your audience, to find out what's needed, be able to serve the community that's ready for you.
You've got to change as times change.
Yeah.
And I'm saying again, I just cannot believe how much unemployment is hitting us. But again, this is the era of what did I say? Betrayal and deception and betrayal. Oh, unemployment is nil. It's high. It's nothing. Oh, the economy is really good. I'm going, how in the world can you say that? How in the world? I go around, look at all the malls and all that. The stores are, vacant. People are shutting up their businesses. Real estate's going to crash. I was talking to this real estate company yesterday. They said, yes, but doesn't real estate always go up? I said, what have you been smoking, George? Do you know what I mean? They live in the past.